for the listener, you that are there with us, that have been with us together in like all these 50 episodes, it's like something to plan as far as like the time that we're gonna go on. And we decided on planning the minimum viable content, right, for the podcast. Like, what is the minimum that we need to hit so we can do that? And then from that base, we started building different things. We started asking questions. And then, you know, when Steve came, it wasn't until the episode 21 that we decided to do that kind of intro. And then that became the standard. And we're like, that's something that we can replicate every single time after that. So we call it content evolution, right? As you start developing, as you start publishing, you're going to find those questions, those frameworks, those introductions, like those elements that's going to make you. So I definitely encourage you to see the content as you're like, what is my base that I can stay consistent, that I can continue publishing every single day? And then after that, once you become comfortable with that, then add another layer, add another element. Right?
So like once we started adding these layers, when we discovered the intro that it worked for us, then the question was, okay, how can we do this in a way, you know, that's not going to add too much friction to our process, and it can be repeatable for the rest of the podcast, right? And like he said, like you just said, you know, like content evolution, literally. We started with our minimum viable content. The first episodes was literally documenting, actually it was documenting, and then we would tell the story through the Epiphany Bridge story sequence, right? Like we had those questions, I think there are 8 questions, if I'm not mistaken, and we would actually tell the episode, I guess, you know, the podcast had that structure, the structure of the Epiphany Bridge story. And we actually had that for a while until then, okay, we started bringing people in. That's a new layer. How can we make this repeatable? Cool. All right, we bring the intro. Awesome, it worked out. How can we make it repeatable? I remember some other episode at the end, we asked a question, right? Like, where would you be if you didn't publish? And that day we were like, wow, that's a really good question. How can we put it repeatable so we don't forget in our process? And again, that content evolution, it kind of comes natural at some point.
It starts clicking. And the important thing here is to recognize what are those elements that add a lot of value to you and your content. And this is not necessarily for your podcast, right? It could be for your YouTube video. It could be for your solo episodes. It could be for your Facebook lives, right? And then it's like, how can I remember the next time? So for us is our cheat sheet. And then we build those elements in there in an order so we can actually follow it and making sure that we don't forget every single time, right? So right after that, Steven, like obviously we have a new standard on the show. We're like, we actually have to do this intro every single time. So we plan ahead of time and we start doing what we call the prep show. So beforehand, it's like 30 minutes. We go on there, we write those intros, FONZify them. So that's the word that we established for that intro so he can make him funny. He's a creative guy here. And then right after that, we're like, okay, let's start on podcast flow. We put some music, we get riled up.
It's our game day.
Is our game day. That's what's fun about it, because it's become this amazing routine that we now execute every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? I almost forget, around that time we also started a second show, which was the Spanish show, which by the way we have 10 episodes. And the reason we haven't been able to continue to publish that is because Content is Profit actually grabbed a ton of traction. It was amazing. The response that we got from the audience, from our dream clients, from the guests, right? That it shifted our attention a little bit. And that's why we continue with Content's Profit for now. Mass Live show is coming. It's in Spanish. Don't worry, we'll be there for sure. But then we started having these amazing guests like Marley Jacks, Nate, John McCall, Brooke, oh my God, Jay, Austin, Lisanne, Josh 40, Cassie, the Amplified team, Parker, Gavin Bell from UK, which by the way, we've been developing a following in the UK, which is funny. So maybe they think our accent is amazing and we think their accent is great. So maybe that's what's happening. Right. Jeremy, Alex Taylor, Todd Brown. Oh my God, that was an amazing story. And please go back, listen to these episodes. The people that we've been able to connect, Steve Creason, Paulie, Tyson, oh my God, like world champ in rodeo, JR Rivas, Ayelet, Anthony Murphy, Rita, Don, and yesterday, Catherine Jones for 49.5 and a half.
There we go. Making this episode number 50, baby.
And again, guests are coming next. Amazing too. We have an amazing lineup, and we're working with people that really enjoy what they do, the passion, the content, and this is what publishing is all about. Now, there's something sometimes that we talk about collateral revenue, right? For us, the relationship, it's literally the primary thing. We want to develop this relationship with these people, and we've been able to do it. Now, on the other side, right, a lot of people are like, how do I monetize? And for us, we're in this little pickle for that story. We're like, we're about to go out of business. Well, the podcast brought the audience. The podcast brought the people that we started to work with to jump on calls with us. And guess what? We go to a point, and there's a Facebook Live running around where we describe that situation. Thank you. Like, thanks to the show, we were able to hire our first 3 full-timers that work with us in our agency. We
Shout out to the team. Rafa,
Shout out to
Mariana, Juan, now Jose. Let's go.
Now Jose is coming too. So see, like, and this just happened in 3 months in the middle of the worst, like the worst crazy pandemic, like lately, right?
Lately. like it happened so common.
In the last century or something. But it's what I'm trying to say is, like, if there was like a worse, like, there is no worse time to actually grow or start business. And thanks to this show and the pieces that started to move and the momentum that we started to get, we are able to now say that we've actually grown. We were able to provide for our team members that are, working a lot, really, really, really good alongside and executing on an amazing product, right? And it literally saved our business. It literally saved our business. We cannot say enough about this.
Yeah,